I know what you're thinking. Why is a PC diehard like me even messing with a Chromebook? Look, I build PCs. I love high-end hardware. And with all the incredible Windows laptops coming out of CES this year, there's no shortage of great machines to choose from. But I jumped into this experiment for two big reasons. Stick with me for a bit, and I'll explain why. Since Windows 10 support officially ended, I've been asked this particular question. What's a real alternative to a Windows laptop or a MacBook? This usually comes from people with perfectly good hardware that is suddenly unsupported. Now, if you like to tinker, Linux is an option, and I'm planning a series on that. But what about the average person, the everyday user? Well, in the laptop space, there are Chromebooks. You know, those other devices at the far end of the Best Buy aisle. As an IT guy who's supported Windows users for years, I'm guilty of the same thing many of you are. I've never taken Chromebooks seriously. If someone asked for a laptop recommendation for a younger student, then sure, a budget Chromebook would be in my list of options. Something they wouldn't mind getting tossed around. But for an adult, a normal user, not so much. Chromebooks have a massive image problem. They gained popularity as inexpensive school tools, and they've struggled to shake that perception. Honestly, how many of you still think of Chromebooks as laptops for kids? Drop a comment below. I really want to hear your take on this. Well, there's been rumors that Google has been working on a project to completely change that narrative. And back in September, Rick Osterloh confirmed the rumors. Google is merging Chrome OS and Android into a single AI-centric platform called Aluminium OS. This isn't just a simple update. This is Google's play for the entire space. Desktops, laptops, tablets, all unified. That piqued my interest. To understand the next wave of computing, I'll have to dive into that Google ecosystem now. But the real question is, can a PC guy like me actually live with a Chromebook? Is this just a bridge to the future, or is the hardware finally ready? Look, I'm not editing 4K video on my laptop. I built a powerful Windows desktop for that. So, I've been daily driving a flagship Chromebook for the last 90 days as my only laptop, and I quickly realized I was wrong about what a Chromebook can be. Let me show you why this machine makes me more excited for what Google has to come in 2026. Now, if I'm going to recommend something, I need to really use it, not just for a day, but as my laptop. And I'm a firm believer that in 2026, you shouldn't buy a laptop regardless of the OS with less than 16 gigs of RAM, period. So I did my research, and based on my criteria, a Chromebook Plus laptop was the only way to go. Google created this Plus standard to fix that reputation I mentioned earlier. To be a Plus device, there's a quality standard that has to be met. I went to my local Best Buy to see what they had in stock. There aren't many Chromebooks with 16 gigs of RAM, but I found exactly what I was looking for. The Lenovo Chromebook Plus 14. Now, I've heard some good things about this machine and the MediaTek Kompanio Ultra 910 chip, not to mention that Aluminium OS future I talked about earlier. So I took a plunge during the Best Buy sale event, and for the last 90 days, it's been my only machine. I transitioned over from my ZenBook 14X, and I needed to know if it could handle a real-world workflow. So let's take a look at the build. My ZenBook is a fully aluminum unibody. It feels expensive. This Lenovo is a bit more muted, more utilitarian, but that's not a bad thing. You've got an anodized aluminum top lid and frame, and on the back, you have a textured rubberized material reminiscent of the Pixelbook Go. It feels solid, definitely better than I expected. At 15.8 millimeters and slightly over 2.5 pounds, it's light and super portable. Then there's the 14-inch OLED display. It's bright and sharp. Honestly, I wish these OEMs would just put anti-reflective displays on all laptops already. But the resolution and depth here are great. I would have loved to see a 120 or 90 Hz display, but for daily work, this panel is a win. Port-wise, you get a headphone jack, 2 USB-C ports, and 1 USB-A, all USB 3.2 Gen 1. You can charge from either USB-C port, and you can easily connect to an external monitor via USB-C to DisplayPort cable, but a dedicated HDMI port would have been great, as well as an SD card slot for expandable memory. Lenovo also future-proofed the connectivity. Wi-Fi 7 and Bluetooth 5.4 have had zero problems with range or performance. It's been rock solid. The keyboard is classic Lenovo, tactile, reliable, and evenly backlit. The quad speakers are loud, with nice depth, and support Dolby Atmos, which is a first for a Chromebook.
This isn't like one of your campaigns. You don't get to write the ending. Not this time.
And while the 5-megapixel webcam is just average, it has a privacy shutter. I always wished my ZenBook had that. Plus, I'll take this dedicated fingerprint sensor over Windows Hello any day. It's faster, more reliable, and it just works. Now let's get into the actual usage. Computing has shifted. This is considered a personal computer today. So much of what we do is already on our phones and tablets because they're simple, they have great battery life, and can handle the core things most need effectively. For many, a Chromebook like this occupies that same space, but with a real keyboard and a tried and true browser. The Play Store and full Android app compatibility have finally filled the gaps. The setup process was seamless. I scanned a QR code with my Android phone and my entire Google life just appeared. But the real question, could it do my work? I stopped using the ZenBook and moved everything here. Writing scripts? Check. I have Microsoft Word and Google Docs at my disposal. Spreadsheets? Check. Excel and Google Sheets handle my data without a hitch. Presentations? You can pick your poison with PowerPoint or Google Slides. If you live in the cloud, which many normal users do these days, you won't miss a beat. But what about communication? This is where the Play Store integration shines. WhatsApp, Teams, Zoom, Google Meet, Slack, they're all here. I can have a Teams call on one side of the screen and my research notes on the other. And with 16 gigs of RAM, it doesn't even stutter. With the integration of Gemini and Notebook LM, this has become my primary AI research station. And for media, YouTube, Netflix, Apple TV, the OLED screen, and those Dolby Atmos speakers make this a great consumption device. But what I really like about the device, the silence. Because of this MediaTek ARM chip, the laptop is completely fanless. My ZenBook's fans spin up just opening a few tabs. This is dead silent, always. And then there's the battery. On my ZenBook, I'm reaching for the charger by lunchtime. On this, I've gone 2+ days without charging. And even on heavy days, I'm getting through a second day. It has completely changed my mobile workflow. Look, Windows laptops with Snapdragon or even new Intel chips have made major strides in the battery department, but they often throttle speed to get there. This doesn't. One of the biggest reasons this works is the processor I mentioned, the MediaTek Kompanio Ultra 910. It has a dedicated NPU capable of 50 TOPS. If you don't know, TOPS stands for trillions of operations per second. That is the magic number for on-device AI. This Chromebook meets and exceeds the requirements for those fancy new Windows Copilot Plus PCs. Because this Lenovo has that 50 TOPS NPU and 16 gigs of RAM, it's widely expected to be at the front of the line for that Aluminium OS update later this year. Google is pouring huge resources into building that platform around AI and NPU processing. So you aren't just buying a laptop, you're buying into Google's future. It's the first time in years the PC space has actually felt exciting. Now, I also have to mention security. Chrome OS is secure by default. You have sandboxing, verified boot, and the H1 security chip. You don't have to worry about resource-heavy antivirus applications or deal with malware issues that plague so many of us Windows users, which is one reason why Chromebooks have found success in the enterprise space. So, is a Chromebook Plus for everyone? No. If you're a hardcore gamer or a pro video editor, you still want a Windows or Mac device. But for the normal user, my perception has changed. In reality, most just need a fast browser, the ability to run all the main productivity, communication, and multimedia apps, plus great battery life. This laptop gives you all of that, and possibly a front row seat to the most exciting software shift coming in years. So I'm officially adding Chromebook Plus, specifically this MediaTek powered Lenovo, to my recommendation list, right next to the Surface laptops and MacBook Airs of the world. For the average person, this isn't just a budget choice anymore. It's a legitimate alternative. If you're interested, I've put affiliate links below for this Lenovo and other Kompanio Ultra powered devices with more than 8 gigs of RAM. Using those links support the channel at no extra cost to you. I only recommend what I actually use and would spend my own money on. And this one has earned its place. If this video helped you, hit that like, subscribe, and notification icon to be notified when I drop another video. And please remember to spread love, positivity, and try to be helpful to someone in this world today. If you're interested in learning more about new tech coming in 2026, check out this next video.